Now, I am a Republican, okay, so let's make that clear. And I am a little upset that the Republicans, as they've taken over the House of Representatives this past week, are totally focused on one thing, which is investigating Joe Biden and the White House. When they ran and said they were going to work on inflation and crime and immigration at our southern border, but out of the box, in the new Congress, it's investigate Biden, investigate Hunter Biden, now investigate this thing with the top secret documents. It's a little bit too much, really. But anyway, be that as it may, it is a political problem for Biden, maybe a legal problem. It is not the same as Trump, because Trump, as your correspondent said, refused to give the papers back and actually stated their mind when they're not his. Government documents belong to the government, not to the office holder. And the Biden team apparently has returned the papers as they were found. In fact, they reported finding them, otherwise no one was looking for them. Whereas Trump defied a subpoena, defied phone calls and visits from the Justice Department, outright lied himself, so it's reported, to Justice Department investigators, and finally was the subject of a court-ordered search to find 300 more documents.
So we understand that the Attorney General has made the appointment, that of Robert Hur, a special counsel, to investigate these matters. The circumstances around the appointment were told raising fundamental questions around oversight that the committee routinely examines. Can you just share exactly what the challenges are, or what perceived conflict may be seen here?
Well, because the Attorney General is appointed by President Biden, I think Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, thought the best way and the best looking way of doing it is to have another person, and he picked someone who worked in the Trump administration to come in and be the special counsel and make the decisions on how to proceed ahead and whether there should be charges against anybody. Ultimately, it's still Merrick Garland's choice whether to charge anybody, but Mr. Hur will have a big say in it. And this, don't forget, 6 weeks ago, Merrick Garland put Jack Smith in as a special counsel on the Trump case. So each president, former President Trump, current President Biden, has the wonderful specter of a special counsel examining their behavior regarding these top secret documents that neither of them should have had.
There is this, should I say, statement being made about a possible departure from similar circumstances around the discovery of these documents, or how the Justice Department itself acted. Do you see any difference in how it acted during Trump and now with Joe Biden?
You mean how the Justice Department operated
Indeed.
during the presidency of Donald Trump?
No, with the discovery of these documents. So, so there's a letter that says that in terms of the discovery, the Justice Department has departed from how it acted in similar circumstances, namely the inquiry into government secrets found at Mar-a-Lago.
Right. Well, here, the difference is, from day one of the Biden presidency, the Justice Department and the National Archives, where these documents were supposed to be stored, had been requesting that Trump return hundreds of documents that they knew he took with him when he left office. That was January, February of 2021. It took a year and a half to get Trump to turn any of these papers back. And, you know, it resulted, as I said before, in a court-ordered search to go in there and take the papers out of Mar-a-Lago because Trump refused to hand them back voluntarily. That is way different. There's been no charge that Biden has obstructed justice, refused to turn anything over, claimed they're his papers. There's none of that. The suspicion is the papers were left over from his last 2 weeks as vice president, which would have been January 2017, where he was on a foreign trip to Europe, including Ukraine, and I believe the Middle East, and had these documents as vice president with him when the term came to an end on January 20th. And I guess that's where the papers should have gone back to the archives, and instead they went into boxes in his office. I'm not sure Joe Biden even knew about where the papers were. We're going to find out.
So there's speculation that the target of this investigation really is Hunter Biden, his son, and the dealings that he may have had, something that detractors say has been a witch hunt for the Republicans to nail President Joe Biden. Share your thoughts on this, please.
Well, the Republicans have been obsessed with Hunter Biden. And I think what they suspect is that Hunter Biden got positions like on the board of Burisma in Ukraine, an oil company, oil and gas company, that he really had no qualifications to be on that board, other than his father was the vice president of the United States. And that may be true. Now, there's no allegation that Joe Biden profited in any way from anything Hunter Biden did. And until the Republicans can prove that, I don't really think the son is worthy of investigation by the federal government. Because I hate to say it, I'm sure it's true in your country too. Every president's family, there are members who try to capitalize on the fame and the power of their relative. And it's not usually criminal, but it's money making, access selling, or things like that. And I think we're going to go down a rabbit hole if that's where they're going to spend the next 2 years, going after Hunter Biden, who's sort of a pathetic guy.
So what is the end goal in these two separate incidents? We're talking about Donald Trump, and as you say, the behavior has been very different on both sides. But the end goal, the issue around presidents, their behavior, their understanding of the law, particularly pertaining to possession of classified documents. I think it was you that I spoke to several months ago who said, it's pretty much clear when you are given the protocols, you are told what is and what is not allowed. But what would all of this result in? To what end?
Well, first of all, I think the thing that we hear about in America all the time, that no man is above the law, you wonder about it. If these two guys can get away with taking this material home and not get punished in any way for it, why is it lower level officials, when they take top secret material home, either in paper or on their home laptops, they get prosecuted and put in jail? That's how serious taking classified material home is treated in some cases. Now, there is the whole thing in the law about mens rea, state of mind. Was there an intent to break the law? In the Trump case, Trump's subsequent behavior indicates, yes, he not only intended to break the law, he's continued to break the law by refusing to turn the papers over and even stating to people, these papers are mine. I'm not turning them back. Even though they say top secret on the top of it, that's not his. That belongs to the government. Biden has shown no evidence of that mental thinking at all. He's shown no sign of intent to break the law. But we'll see. That's why there's an investigation.